Today is Holocaust Memorial Day, which prompts me to say something that I've been meaning to say for a while. And obviously I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings here, but I would like to clarify something for all you people who are too stupid, prejudiced or just downright ignorant to see it for yourselves. No offence. Anti-Semitism hasn't been a major problem here in Europe since the war against the Nazis, but now, suddenly, it is again. What could be the reason for this? Anybody want to say? Nobody ever does. Even I don't really want to say what it is, but I will anyway. It's mass Muslim immigration. Any Jew in Europe today who favours mass Muslim immigration must either be incurably progressive or just plain out of their mind, which actually amounts to the same thing, because Jews are being driven out of Europe by Muslim anti-Semitism, and the rest of us are letting it happen because we don't have the courage to confront it and call it what it is. Given the way that Jews have been treated historically in Europe, to call this behaviour cowardly and reprehensible doesn't come close to doing it justice. Those words are merely polite euphemisms for the moral depravity of what's actually happening. Politicians are now starting to pay lip service to the problem because they've got no choice, saying things like, we must do more to stop this wave of anti-Semitism that we can no longer ignore, even though we'd love to. We must do more, but we won't because we can't even bring ourselves to name the problem in case somebody gets offended. Sorry, Jews. People often say to me, you know, not all Muslims hate Jews. It's Israel they hate. You're just a racist. Well, of course, not all Muslims hate Jews, but crucially, the religion of Islam does hate them. It's right there in the scripture, which was around long before the State of Israel was ever thought of. And given the seriousness with which Muslims tend to take their religion, it's inevitable that many of them will hate Jews simply for being Jews, and the evidence is that many of them do, which is why every anti-Israel rally that's full of Muslims quickly turns into an anti-Jewish hate fest. Pointing this out does not make me or anyone else a racist. However, denying it in the face of the evidence does make you a coward and a liar, especially if you call yourself a journalist. Islamic scripture tells Muslims to look forward to the day when they wipe out the Jews, not Israelis, Jews. And that's why that particular hadith has been incorporated into the founding charter of the Islamic terrorist group Hamas. It's also why Islamic terrorists always make a point of seeking out Jews and killing them first, not Israelis, Jews. Last year in Gaza there was a tragic, unnecessary war because the people of Gaza had freely elected this terrorist group of Jew haters, knowing that they would repeatedly attack Israel and knowing that Israel would eventually retaliate and that many people would be killed. That either takes a special kind of stupid or a special kind of hate. And it's a hate that's endemic in the Islamic world, where opinion polls tell us that a majority of people hold opinions about Jews that don't belong in a civilized society, yet we in Europe are busy importing this mentality wholesale as part of our multicultural rainbow coalition of suicidal stupidity and moral cowardice. What could possibly go wrong? Well, 4 people dead in a Jewish supermarket is one thing that could go wrong. Jews abused and attacked on the streets of European cities while the authorities make excuses for their Muslim attackers, armed guards on Jewish schools, Muslim mobs attacking synagogues, and a mass exodus of Jews from Europe is what could go wrong. In fact, it's already well underway. The number of Jews leaving France for Israel is doubling every year. And this will continue all over Europe because we don't have the courage to confront this thing or even to call it what it is. I know we've been beaten down by political correctness and relativism, but does anybody actually have a conscience anymore? Or is that just an old-fashioned idea now? Islam has brought many ugly things to Western society, and this wave of anti-Semitism is just one of them. But it's one with a very sharp edge, and we have a responsibility to dull that edge and to flatten it right out, because we cannot have this in our society and call ourselves civilized or free. And the first thing that we need to do about this new phenomenon in Europe of Muslim anti-Semitism is to call it what it is and to hell with anyone's feelings. It's Muslim anti-Semitism, isn't it, Muslims? You know the truth. It's Muslim anti-Semitism, politicians, not anti-Semitism generally from some vague, unspecified mystery source. It's Muslim anti-Semitism, journalists, mandated by scripture, and you'd better write that down in case you forget, because you will. It's Muslim anti-Semitism, progressive Jews, not the far right, as you would love to believe. And the bad news is, it's coming for you. And when it does, nobody will do anything about it, because that might be racist. If this was happening to any other group of people, the human rights industry would be all over it. But nobody gives a damn about Jews, and they never have, which is why the Holocaust was allowed to happen in the first place. The same Holocaust that many Muslims teach their children didn't happen because they hate Jews so much. Although they're happy to acknowledge it when it comes to complaining that Muslims are the new Jews of Europe, as some Islamic professional victims love to do. In fact, Jews are the new Jews. Muslims are the new Nazis. Not all Muslims, of course, but enough of them to make a difference, and a very unpleasant difference indeed. And the more Muslims that we import into Europe, the more dangerous things are going to get for Jews, either until we grow a collective spine and confront this filthy, poisonous Muslim hatred, or until all the Jews have been driven out. So without wishing to put too fine a point on it, which is it going to be?